I have a firm belief that people should keep their nostalgia in check, especially when it comes to games. As someone who loves watching YouTube, I often find myself wandering into the comment sections of videos, and especially in regards to retro video games, these comments can seem particularly unhinged to me. This usually happens because a person is describing a game in a way that doesn't describe my experience with that particular game at all, and our experiences with media are typically very personal. This usually happens because a person is describing a game in a way that doesn't describe my experience with that particular game at all, or has a perspective on a game that I find incredibly hard to understand. To give some examples of what types of opinion I am talking about, and possibly alienate you from watching my content, I don't really trust people who think Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a very good game before synchro summoning was a thing, and I even have a video kind of about that if you're interested. And I think the physical special move split that happened in 4th Gen Pokemon was fundamental to making Pokemon a much more interesting and better competitive game. And I think opinions contrary to that are at least somewhat flawed from the start. It just is weird to me that sometimes that people seem to think the first way something was made is inherently the best way to do it, regardless of the quality of what comes after or the lack of quality of what came first. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because I love Super Mario Kart. I really enjoy playing it, and I've played it on and off throughout most of my life. I never got any good, and never tried, if this video footage doesn't show that clearly, but I've also never really looked at the game critically either. I originally played Super Mario Kart when I was a dumb kid with not the best childhood, and it gave me a lot of comfort and enjoyment if I needed something to take me out of a bad mood. I still feel this relief when I play this game now, but the entire point of this series is for me to evaluate the merits of games and discuss them in the context of should you play them now, and in the case of Super Mario Kart, I'm not entirely sure, because playing the game with a critical lens, there are some things about the game design that kind of bother me. If this is the first video of mine you're watching, I typically play these games for an hour and make a video about that play experience, and if that play experience leads me to thinking the game is worth playing nowadays. I could not do that with Super Mario Kart, because after playing for an hour in 50cc, which is the easy mode of the game, I had won every cup and not lost a race. So I moved on to 100cc to see what would happen, and it took me another 40 minutes to finally find a game over. So let's step back and look at that process, and I'll talk about what I experienced. We have 8 characters to choose from that are mostly all iconic Mario characters and Donkey Kong Jr. I played as Yoshi for most of that time because my typical Mario Kart main Wario isn't in this game. Each character has their own handling characteristics, but analyzing those is outside the scope of this video. I will note that 8 is a pretty large number of unique videos for a Super Nintendo racing game, especially an early one. After picking a character, you pick a cup. At 50cc, you only have 3 to choose from, and at 100cc, there are 4 cups or championships. The 4th cup in 100cc, the special cup, is unlocked by, I assume, doing well in each of the other cups at 100cc. I didn't finish the Star Cup during my play session, so I don't exactly know how to unlock the special cup. Each cup has 5 races in a different Mario-themed locale, and you accrue points based on your position in each of these races, as long as you don't come in 5th through 8th, which results in a game over and a loss of a life. I think the graphics in this game look great, and the music is still some of my favorite from this era. In my playing for this video, I played the 15 readily available tracks a couple times each, and while the playing was fun, there are a few quirks to playing the cup races that I can't say I love. First, you'll notice, depending on the character you're playing, you'll have a specific set of opponents that almost without fail will end up in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th when you are coming in 1st. With Yoshi as an example, these characters are Koopa Troopa, Donkey Kong Jr., and Peach respectively. In the 30-ish races I played, I saw Mario come in 4th instead of Peach once. And I assume that was because of some weird item thing happening right before they hit the finish line. This makes winning a cup a little difficult in the actual harder stages, as you simply cannot lose more than one race without having a good chance of not winning the cup. And it makes the races feel a bit samey to me, because if you always have the same opponents in the same relative space, you are always getting hit by the items that the AI opponents seem to always have access to. For example, Koopa seems to always have a shell ready, and Luigi always seems to have a star ready. Regardless of whether or not they've gone over an item pickup, I've seen Koopa throw like 3 shells in a row. And it seems the item pickups only appear to be for you, as they only go out when you pick them up. The driving mechanics in 50cc feel pretty intuitive to me, very easy to control, which I think is the point. But on 100cc and the later courses, the collision and turning feel rough when you have no idea what's going on, like me in this footage. Now, I want to point out that these criticisms feel like nitpicks to me, and these are the negatives that I can find playing the game. For some people, that'd be enough to turn them away when more modern and more fully featured Mario Kart games exist. But I'm not about to AVGN out about the things that annoy me slightly, like the handling physics quirks that I haven't had time to get used to yet, and these ice blocks on this ice stage. This game is fun, and I played it for almost 2 hours without ever wondering how much longer I wanted to play, which is more than I can say for 99% of the games I've played for this series so far. If you have a Switch, or a SNES Mini, or a computer with the right knowledge, you could play this game right now and probably have a good time if you're willing to look past the slight disadvantages this game has from being 30 years old. The Super Mario Kart franchise has lasted this long due in large part, I think, to how genuinely good this game was. A frustration and boredom-free 2 hours is actually a lot to ask from your average Super Nintendo game. This game isn't Mario Kart 8, but what game is besides Mario Kart 8? I do want to mention that when I'm playing these games, I don't ever test out the multiplayer features, and the battle system in Super Mario Kart is a lot of fun if you can get some friends to play with. I don't know if Switch Online allows you to play 2 players. Let me actually look that up now. Okay, yeah, it does seem like you can play the multiplayer portion of Super Mario Kart online if you would like. So yeah, pick up a Switch and play this game, or anything else, because seeing the start of Mario Kart is something I think is worth doing if you like the series overall. If you like this video, please like it, as it makes me happy to see number go up. And subscribe to my channel if you like old and obscure video games, as that's what I talk about here. The next episode of this series is going to be Wheel of Fortune featuring Vanna White. No idea the quality of that game, but I guess we'll find out. Have a great day.